Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Good morning, Descendants and Zombies universe. I am the one and only Jonathan Clarke, and I have never felt more honored to join you for these conversations that we have every single day about Descendants and Zombies. If you are somebody who loves Descendants and Zombies with all of your heart, and you are looking to find someone who appreciates Descendants and Zombies for the fan that you are, then you should look no further than yours truly. I have had the time of my life recording the content that you guys have come to know, love, and appreciate through the years, and I've had the honor of my lifetime meeting thousands of people who love Descendants and Zombies with all of their hearts. So I would love for you to share with me your story about how you became a fan of Descendants and Zombies and how you discovered all about it. Because this was a franchise that changed my life. It truly changed my perspective on everything happening around me, the people I surround myself with, and it truly inspired me to be a better person, to create content to hopefully inspire other people to come together to create something special. And I've had the time of my life. This has been a time in my life that I know that I will forever and always cherish, that I will hold close to my heart for many years to come, because we still have a long way to go. And why is that, you may ask? Because this story is far from over. And for anybody who has believed that this story is far from over, then perhaps you should continue on believing in that, because that is the one thing that I have forever and always encouraged through every video that I've ever had the honor of creating and recording for thousands of people. You guys really have become a special part of my life, because I've just enjoyed as much hearing your stories as I have sharing with you my story about how I believed in mermaids, and how I thought mermaids were real, or how I thought pirate ships and adventures on them were so fun, and how I thought fairy tale characters deserved a greater appreciation than ever before, because if there was one guy out there who always was caught watching Cinderella, or Alice in Wonderland, or Beauty and the Beast, and his favorite Disney princess of all time was Ariel, because of her voice and how beautiful her voice was on all those songs like Part of Your World and Under the Sea. It was really fun for me growing up in a generation that is very different from your generation of Disney, because your generation of Disney was pretty much prided off live actions, such as Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Descendants and Zombies. My generation was pretty much based off of original animated classics like The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Toy Story, some of my all-time favorites. Many of you are too young to remember some of these I'm going to mention, like A Bug's Life, or A Nightmare Before Christmas, because pretty much what you see is Jack Skellington of this generation used as attractions for Disney World. You guys don't remember Jack Skellington from the original Nightmare Before Christmas, which was first released in 1993 and transmitted in theaters for the first time in 1993 when computer animation wasn't necessarily the thing. It was created by Tim Burton, and I remember watching it being brought to life for the first time ever when Halloween and Christmas never thought would coexist together until Tim Burton created it. And he became one of my favorite characters because of just how appreciative he was of the honor of being the mayor of Halloween Town, being the king of nightmares. There was just something about that. And then Toy Story happened in 1995, and then Woody's existence was threatened because of an intergalactic spaceman, Buzz Lightyear, who showed up from out of nowhere and couldn't understand why he was in Andy's room until he made friends with all these toys like Rex and Woody, and him and Woody became the best of friends. And now we're setting ourselves up for Toy Story 5 this coming June, and everybody is so excited about it. And I think that these characters have went on to hold a very special place in our hearts to infinity and beyond. I'll let you guys in a little secret. I've always wanted to be the voice of Buzz Lightyear for a reboot of the original animated TV series, because seeing his battles with Emperor Zurg, there was something about that. And I'll let you guys in another little secret. I've always wanted to drive an alien mothership. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, you've always wanted to take yourself up in the chance to drive an alien mothership? Have you ever driven an alien mothership? Well, that is exactly why I want to take myself up in the opportunity to do such things, like drive an alien mothership or jump down through a rabbit hole that has been closed for years. You have no idea how many times I've been wandering through the forest. There's actually a forest behind my house. And how many times do I go wandering through that berry picking trying to find a rabbit hole that I could have the opportunity to jump down through? You haven't lived until you take yourself up in the opportunity to find a rabbit hole, find it through a search, and then jump down through it, because you never know how many magical characters you're going to have the honor of meeting. And I've had the honor of meeting thousands of people after feeling like I've jumped down through a rabbit hole for forever, because they've shared that same passion with me about Descendants and Zombies and how their favorite characters date all the way back to Mal's debut or the premiere of Evie, who had no backstory whatsoever. And what was so fun for the fans of Evie and Mal were they had no backstory, so there was no story for us to be told. All we knew was that they were the daughters of Maleficent and the Evil Queen, And we had never seen anything quite like this ever done before. It was a concept that immediately captivated us because we had never seen it before and we had never heard their story. But once we had the chance to hear their story, we felt ever more captivated. We felt a part of it. And to be honest with you guys, this is a story, and if it's a dream, in fact, it's a dream that I've never wanted to wake up from. Because even with how many fans of Descendants of Zombies I've met, I still have so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies to meet who are always believing in this with all their heart. They're always commenting. They're always liking the videos. There isn't a day that passes me by where people aren't commenting or people aren't subscribing. And if you are somebody who is thinking about hitting that subscribe button, I know I've got my work cut out for me because I just can't say, hey, everybody on YouTube, I'm this guy who loves Descendants of Zombies. I've got this really cool Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel that I would love for you to subscribe to. I have Stitch here in the back with me. I have Dumbo. I have Sonic the Hedgehog, who I'm a really huge fan of, as you know. I'm also a really huge video gamer, so if you're a fan of video games, you can also hit the subscribe button because I have every video game ever created or ever distributed for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And the cool thing about that is I actually do. I don't know what happened to Disney with their video games because years ago Disney would create all these successful video games off their most successful franchises, and now we don't see it as often. We have Disney Dreamlight Valley and we have Disney's Magic Kingdom, which is one of the funnest app games that I've played in years because you have the chance to create your own version of a Disney theme park and invite all these characters into it. And you have to complete certain objectives to obtain these characters to be a part of your theme park. And the Disney Dreamlight Valley happens on PlayStation 5, and it was a beautiful game. It was one of the first beautiful games I've seen since Epic Mickey originally released on the Nintendo Wii. And then, years ago when you had your first ever PlayStation, I remember being a kid and buying my first ever PlayStation from Toy Story. I paid $210 for my first ever PlayStation. I was like, Mom, can I buy a PlayStation? Oh, but you already have a Nintendo, Jonathan. Mom, I want PlayStation. But I paid this much for Nintendo. Mom, I want PlayStation. And then she finally gives in and says, all right. And I'm like, yes. And then I go to Toy Story, or I go to Toys R Us and I buy my first ever PlayStation, and I'm like, woohoo! And then I buy all these Disney video games. And then halfway through my Disney video game experience, they cancel the game lineup. And I'm like, whatever happened to Disney? The point being is, if you've ever been a fan of any generation of Disney, you are more than welcome to be here, because I know there are a lot of people who feel very passionate about this kind of thing. You guys are very passionate about collecting Descendants of Zombies dolls. You're very passionate about the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, which we experienced together this past summer. And I got to be honest with you guys. I had the time of my life profiling the Worlds Collide Tour, because if I was going to say anything at all about it, it was going to have to be something nice. Unquestionably, the original cast of Descendants held a very special place in our heart. Zed and Addison, likewise, held a very special place in our heart, and we've never forgotten them. Because I never ever forgot this one scene that a lot of people don't give enough credit to, that iconic elevator scene where Zed looked at Addison and said, Addison, if zombies don't win at football, we're never going to be accepted. And I thought to myself, that's pretty much how my life is going. When the first time I saw zombies, I was like, yeah, I felt like I was never going to be accepted. And I think that a lot of people felt that same way. So when they saw that scene, even though they never gave it enough credit, they immediately felt connected to this franchise, and they never wanted to say goodbye, or they never wanted to let go of it. And that's what made it so special for me as a content creator, was being able to resonate with thousands of people that I would go on to have the honor of touching the heart of. Because when you touch the heart of thousands of people who love Descendants of Zombies with all their heart, you truly got something to be grateful for and to hold on to, because you guys have become such a huge part of my life. For the first time ever in my life, I've had the chance to share with you my story. I've had the chance to meet thousands of people that I felt connected to. And as we look ahead to the future of Descendants of Zombies, I know there are a lot of people who have been left with a lot of unanswered questions about what's going to happen. Is there going to be Descendants 6 in the wake of Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland? What's coming next in the future? There are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of rumors of crossover opportunities, Disney and Descendants characters finding their way into Fortnite, which is going to be really cool for a lot of people, because I know there's a big rumor floating around online, but for some really weird reason, I'm the only guy who's ever uploaded a video to YouTube talking about Descendants and Zombies characters finding their way into Fortnite. Just imagine if Jonathan Clarke became a part of the Descendants franchise and he had his own character in Fortnite. I would love the opportunity to have my own character in Fortnite. I've been playing Fortnite for years, and then I saw the Disney packs of these characters released a couple of years ago. We had Captain Hook, Maleficent, and Cruella de Vil, and we've had Baymax from Big Hero 6, and because I was a huge fan of Big Hero 6 and the fist pump thing, I will add heal into my personal care attendance system. I would always have loved to have been the voice of Baymax and had been on all these action scenes with the Big Hero 6 because they were so cool. They were freaking out because they had superpowers. And then they ended up in Disney Fortnite. It was the coolest thing ever. I was like, yes, man. If ever the opportunity to be the voice of Baymax and be someone's personal care attendant ever arose, I would definitely apply for that job. If I went on job fair and I saw that they were looking for a super robot that would be a part of a six-man fighting machine, I would definitely sign up for that because, you can never take yourself on the opportunity to have more opportunities to meet more incredible fans of Disney. But in all honesty, guys, this opportunity that I've had to meet thousands of people who have felt inspired by Descendants of Zombies has been the greatest honor of my life. I will never live long enough to let you guys know how I truly appreciate each and every one of you for being part of my life for what feels like forever. And I can't even believe that I've almost talked about Descendants of Zombies already for up to 17 minutes. You see, this is what I can do that separates these videos from everybody else. In the 16 minutes that I've already spent talking about Descendants of Zombies this morning, you can't deny that I put a smile on your face, that I give you hope for the foreseeable future, because that's all I've ever wanted to be a part of, giving somebody hope for the foreseeable future, because indeed there is a future coming for Descendants of Zombies, and there is something that we all have a reason to be excited about more than ever before, because we've all taken away something special from these live performances. We've all taken something special away from the movies, from the songs that we all very quickly fell in love with. One of the songs that I very quickly fell in love with was Chillin' Like a Villain, because of the dance number and how Sophia Carson, this was really Sophia Carson's premiere number. This was Sophia Carson's premiere single, and it almost instantly went to the top of the Billboard chart. It wouldn't have surprised me at all if that song would have occupied the number one spot on the 100 Billboard chart for 2017. It was somewhere up there in the top 50 songs that was the most requested of 2017. I will never forget listening to AT40 every weekend, listening to that song slowly but surely creep its way up the top 100 Billboard chart. And I know this because I was a DJ for years. I was a real loser. I had, the opportunity to be DJs, radio show hosts, and, the greatest honor of my life was I had the honor to meet all of you. From whatever I was doing, I had the honor of meeting each and every one of you. Because unlike the hosts of shows that I would co-host with over the years, you guys always held a very special place in my heart. I was always wondering how I could create better content for you, how I could distribute this in a way that you somehow felt connected to whatever you were hearing me talk about. No matter if it was my passion for Descendants of Zombies, my passion for collecting video games, my passion for Disney movies over the years, because I remember significant dates in history, like how on November 22nd, 1989, The Little Mermaid premiered, or how on February 5th, 1953, which was the same year my parents were born, that Peter Pan made its inaugural debut. And then Tinkerbell went on to become one of Disney's first ever original princesses before ever being dropped out of the original Disney princess lineup. Oh, that broke my heart. Just as much as when I heard about how Ruby was parting ways with the Descendants franchise, my heart was broken, because I thought Ruby's character offered so much of this franchise and offered us a great deal of inspiration to be kinder to people we surround ourselves with that kind of just come into our lives without any explanation. Because the one thing you are guaranteed to have happen for you in your lifetime is that somebody's just going to show up, either a guy or a girl that you may love for the rest of your life, will just unexpectedly show up in your lifetime just as fast as you can snap your fingers, just as fast as that. And the thing is, there's no real answer or explanation as to why they show up. All they want is the opportunity to get to know you and to be friends with you in more cases than often enough. And that's what's so beautiful about life. I think that everybody is created equal. Nobody has the right to be judged, and everybody has the right to have a chance. Because once you give somebody special who kind of just shows up in your life without any explanation ever having been offered, those are some of the most beautiful friendships of all time. That's how beautiful friendships happen. And if you notice anything about the Descendants of Zombies franchises, they are prided on friendship and how valuable they are and just how precious time is, because we never seem to know how much time we have. Do you think that I thought this YouTube channel would be the most successful Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time? Most certainly I didn't. But it eventually went on to become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and certainly one of the most revered. Because unlike other content creators who revolve their content around Descendants of Zombies, I've had the time of my life. Now, that may have come at the expense of a guy who believes in a zombie apocalypse happening at any given moment better than anybody else who has ever recorded a video about Descendants of Zombies. But that's how I have fun with that. And I may believe everything that I see on TV is real, from pro wrestling to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Descendants and Zombies to cartoons featuring Mickey Mouse. Everything I see on TV is real. But the thing is, that's what brings these videos to life. That's what gives these videos so much incentive, is that I believe everything that I see on TV is real. And because I'm just like each and every one of you, and speaking from your perspective, I can bring this to life. If there was ever a guy who makes his way to the supermarket every day or the local mall thinking that Spider-Man is going to swoop down from out of the sky and save his life from impenetrable doom, it's this guy, because I always had a greater appreciation for Marvel Comics. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, I collect Marvel Comics. You are my favorite YouTuber. Thank you for being here. If you are somebody who says that, if you've ever loved Stan Lee with all of your heart and could never get enough of Stan Lee's iconic openings for things like Spider-Man and X-Men and the Avengers, then my heart is forever and always with you. If you are a true believer, you are welcome here. If you are a fan of Descendants and Zombies, you are just as welcome here, because your opinions matter here on this YouTube channel. While I can't speak for everybody's YouTube channel out there that revolves their content around Descendants and Zombies time and time again, time after time, your opinions are appreciated here on this YouTube channel. I read down through every single one of them. Some of you share fun facts with me. Some of you share your theories and your predictions with me. And I've had the time of my life. Because once you win the hearts of every fan of Descendants and Zombies, I've said this 1,000 times, if never a million. Once you win the hearts of every fan of Descendants and Zombies, you've truly got something to be grateful for. And it's been a chance and an opportunity I've taken upon myself that I've never ever forgotten any of you because of. Because you are the ones who came together and you created something special for me. You inspire me every day to wear blue shirts and black shirts when I come in off my graveyard shift, which we haven't got to tell anybody about. But I wear the colors of the Descendants characters. Blue was Ben's favorite color. I remember that costume, and I thought it was so iconic. Although his portrayal of Beast's son was never the best, I thought it was so cool how they could bring these characters to life and be represented through the eyes of VK kids and AK kids. And it was just a fun story to love. And if you've ever believed in anything in your lifetime, I think you gave a chance to Descendants and Zombies more than you did anything in your life. And you guys have, get-togethers with your friends all the time. You're watching the original Descendants trilogy. You go back in time. You familiarize yourself with what happened because you first became introduced to this new spin-off. And you thought Red and Chloe were the coolest characters ever. So because you thought those characters were the coolest characters ever, you fell in love with the original trilogy. And what's so cool about this is now with access to Disney Plus, we can go back and familiarize ourselves with what once was. And because we can go back in time and familiarize ourselves with what once was, that's what's so fun about being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I think that this is an opportunity that I wish I could go back in time just to relive and re-experience, because having the chance to share with you my story about how I was a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Now, I eventually became a fan of Freya Sky and thought she was the most beautiful person ever for not just her looks, but also her personality. Because her personality was second to none. She had a personality of a Disney star we had waited on and wished upon for forever. She's almost like a star that we've been wishing upon for forever. And I think once we get to understand who Freya Sky is, that's what's so magical about her. So I think that every fan has felt connected to her in some way or some capacity for what must feel like forever. Because from the first time you ever heard a song like Dream Come True or Go My Own Way or a song like Silent Treatment, you could relate to that music. And that's what made her so special to every fan that she had, because every fan has felt connected to her, has felt a part of her existence. And that's what I've wanted to always encourage. So I've always wanted you guys to continue to follow your passions. Whatever you're passionate about when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, continue to follow it. And please keep watching me on YouTube, because your love and support is all I can ever want. And because your love and support is all I could ever want, then that's what makes this YouTube channel go further than any YouTube creator has ever gone before or any YouTube channel has ever made it. Because out there in this really big universe, I know that there's at least one fan of Descendants and Zombies who will forever and always put her heart into every video that I ever put out there. There is one fan of Descendants and Zombies who believes in this with all of their heart, and I've just always wanted to be here supporting you. I've just always wanted to be here to let you guys know that there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because once you pour your heart into something or you put your art out there, it no longer is your art. It becomes the art of every single person who has ever believed in these franchises, who has wanted to make something special of it. So because you've wanted to make something special of it, you've deserved to be honored. And I felt so honored to be a part of that and sharing these incredible stories and these life-changing experiences with thousands of people. For whatever your reason is for having found my channel this morning, thank you so much for being the fans of Descendants and Zombies that you have forever and always been. I hope you will forever and always remain with me, because some of the very first subscribers who have ever subscribed here are still here with me. And at just 9:21 a.m. in the morning, if you could even believe that, it has been my honor to share with you my story about Descendants and Zombies and go on to touch the hearts of thousands of people who believe in it just as much as what I have. Thank you so much for making Descendants and Zombies such a valuable and precious part of each and every one of your lives that deserves to forever and always be honored. Thank you so much for allowing me to have represented you as your voice of Descendants and Zombies and came into your lives when I least expected it, because when you guys happened, you changed my life for the better and allowed me to be considered a part of something special that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. With that having been said, keep on believing in Descendants and Zombies and believing in it with all of your heart, because your kindness goes a long way in this world and further than you could ever imagine possible. And thank you so much for watching this video and being here with me, allowing me the opportunity and the profound chance of sharing with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies. It has been my honor, and one that I know that I will never ever forget. Thank you so much for having watched this video.